Tonight on YCN News, TDS Cable in Warner holds a public meeting with residents about new technology. Stevens High School in Claremont says no more to an open campus. And Babe Ruth baseball action between Sunapee and Claremont. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN News, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It's Thursday, July 16th. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kurt Weedy, and this is YCN News. Well, we start tonight with an update about a story we teased yesterday. 36-year-old Jason Hollywood has been sentenced to 3 to 7 years in New Hampshire State Prison after pleading guilty yesterday, according to multiple sources. Sentenced in Sullivan Superior Court, Hollywood made a plea agreement on multiple charges relating to methamphetamine production and possession. He expressed remorse before the presiding judge, Brian Tucker, admitting that he produced the drug to help with a sickness he had from heroin use. Each of the charges against Hollywood carries its own sentence, and he will serve them all simultaneously. Well, in the town of Warner, New Hampshire, it's in the process of renegotiating their cable television franchise with incumbent operator TDS Telecom. Last night, the selectmen held a public hearing with over 30 members of the community in attendance. A presentation by Scott Brooks, TDS's manager of government affairs, on their proposal, and a technical review of a new fiber optic system by TDS's Doug Plouffe, their network specialist, began the meeting. Together they highlighted the attributes of the new system, which includes telephone, internet speeds of up to 1 gigabyte, and cable television. Currently, TDS provides a very limited 50-plus channel standard definition analog cable system. The TDS proposal includes replacement with a state-of-the-art fiber to the home architecture that will offer hundreds of channels in standard and high definition. Questions from the audience were mostly about how the system would be different for the current service. TDS pointed out that with a bundle of all three services, that the cost to a subscriber would be less than that of current services individually. One major concern by the public was how the system would be affected by a long-term power outage, and the fact that the telephone service would not sustain itself for longer than 8 hours on battery backup. The town administrator, Jim Bingham, indicated the town's emergency services personnel were working to make sure that additional communications would be provided in such a case. TDS ended the evening indicating that over 85% of the community will be served by this new technology. They also took the time to speak with residents afterwards about individual problems or concerns. TDS noted that they will be building this new system into the towns of Newbury, Sutton, and Bradford in the near future, having already completed many of the towns from New London and Wilmot South. Well, if you would like more information on the Warner build-out and links to TDS information, go to the website seen on your screen below. Well, residents of Cornish, New Hampshire may not know that they have a hidden gem in their town in the form of a national park. Quite literally hidden too, St. Gaudens National Historic Site is nestled up in the forest off of Route 12A on the Blow Me Down farm property, the former site of the Cornish colony. Now, just recently, the park has extended a call for interest for potential partners to share the property's buildings to look for a new usage of the site for the future. We will be taking a closer look at this story tomorrow with words from the site's superintendent, so tune in then. Well, after the break on YCN News, the Claremont School Board says no more to an open campus at Stevens High School. We'll tell you why after the break.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Kurt Weedy. Well, an update on a story we brought you previously, where Stevens High School was debating keeping an open campus in the next and subsequent school years. Well, a decision has come through. The campus will be closed, meaning all students, including juniors and seniors, will remain inside the building during lunch periods. Now, because the school cafeteria could not hold all of its students for lunch, even with staggered meal times, a necessity became a tradition. That tradition allowed upperclassmen to leave school grounds during their lunch break. Now, 2 years ago, throughout planning discussions for the high school's near $13 million renovation, talk always included having all students remain on campus and in the school for lunch because of a redesigned and updated cafeteria and lunch offerings. Now that plan will finally be enacted. Well, for Hanover residents, it's going to be a lot easier to safely dispose of batteries, cell phones, thermostats, mercury switches, and unused over-the-counter or prescription medicine. The town's Public Works Department at 194 Lebanon Street on Route 120 will accept electronic and non-medical items. For prescription and other medicines, the Hanover Police Department has an approved drug return collection box in its lobby at 46 Lime Road on Route 10. To learn more, check out this news article on our Facebook page, YCN News Now. Keep in mind that this information is valuable for residents throughout our region regarding safe and ecological disposal of these items. And we'd love for you to connect with us on Facebook. Give us a like if you'd like to see our stories on your newsfeed. Join the conversation. We'd like to hear from you. Well, the weather this weekend is looking mostly favorable, a good thing for an annual event at a historic location in Newbury, New Hampshire. Let's hear why the Fells Historic Estate and Gardens at 456 Route 103A is the place to be.
This weekend we are having a wonderful event called Open Air, which is when about 20 artists come to the Fells and they set up their easels and they begin to paint the landscape. And we do it for Saturday and Sunday. And it gives our visitors an opportunity to sort of mingle with the artists. They can see how artists actually work in the landscape, what interests them, and what type of painting they can actually create in our beautiful landscape and gardens. So then we have them painting on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday it concludes with a wet paint sale, and the artists are then selling their beautiful paintings to the public at whatever price they put on them, and then the Fells gets a percentage of the artists, whatever they sell their painting. So we're quite excited about that, and we will have about 20 artists, and it's a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we're praying for good weather.
Now, there are many programs you may want to explore at the Fells this summer. All those activities are posted at thefells.org. Well, motorcycles are back in the news again, this time because New Hampshire's 2 U.S. senators are co-sponsors of a bill that, if passed, would protect the rights of motorcyclists. Democrat Jean Shaheen and Republican Kelly Ayotte are among the sponsors of the Stop Motorcycle Checkpoint Funding Act. Another Northern New England senator, GOP member Susan Collins of Maine, supports this act. Other bipartisan supporters include Democrat Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Republican Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. Ayotte and Shaheen say in separate news releases that bike riders shouldn't be stopped simply because they're riding a motorcycle. Motorcycle-only checkpoints are discriminatory, they both agree. In most all cases, motorcyclists, along with automobile drivers, abide by the same safety laws and rules on the road. The provision included in Senate Bill 1732 would prevent the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, from issuing grants to states to fund discriminatory motorcycle-only checkpoints. Using federal dollars for motorcycle-only stops is wasteful, the Act's sponsors agree. Well, after the break on YCN News, Elizabeth Durazio of the River Valley Chronicle sat down with Liz Verney of the Upper Valley Haven. You'll hear about how you can help out at the Haven this summer. We'll have that conversation for you after the break.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. Well, it was another beautiful day out there with sunny skies and temperatures in the mid-70s, and it looks like things will only get warmer tomorrow before rain eventually works its way into the region. Skies will remain clear tonight with winds of up to 5 miles per hour and temperatures bottoming out at about 55 degrees, before a picture-perfect day tomorrow with mostly sunny skies and a high of about 80 degrees. Clouds will eventually work their way overhead Friday evening, bringing with them a 50% chance for showers after 10 p.m. and a low of 61 degrees. Those clouds will stick around for Saturday, making for a 50% chance for showers and a high of 75 during the day, and a 30% chance for rain and a low of 65 Saturday evening. Now let's find out what's happening in the area with a look at our community calendar. Both Newport, New Hampshire and Bellows Falls, Vermont will host their weekly farmers markets tomorrow, with Newport's taking place on the town commons from 3 to 6 p.m. and Bellows Falls happening right downtown on Canal Street from 4 to 7 p.m. Both markets will be held rain or shine. A blood drive for the American Red Cross will be held tomorrow from 12:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the American Legion on Court Street in Windsor, Vermont. Visit redcrossblood.org for more information. Friday night bingo at KJ's Place on River Street in North Springfield, Vermont will be held tomorrow with games beginning at 6:30 p.m. Cost is $15 per package and doors open at 5. With a little more than a week left before area baseball teams take to the field for the double elimination Junior Babe Ruth tournament, I decided to check in on a pair of local teams with legitimate chances of winning it all.
But in yesterday's showdown, it was all Claremont as the visiting team crossed the plate with 5 runs in the second inning to claim a lead it never surrendered. Claremont jumped out to a 2-0 lead after its first at-bat, thanks to this 2-run single off the bat of first baseman Brandon Bean. But Sunapee answered in the home half of the inning when this ground out by Lane Smith cut the deficit in half, before a nearly identical play on a ground out from Nick Ducharme knotted the score up at 2-2. Unfortunately for the Lakers, however, a string of errors and wild pitches paired with some timely Claremont hitting allowed things to get out of hand quickly. Aiden Cahill capped off his team's big second inning when this grounder to shortstop resulted in an errant throw and 2 more runs to increase Claremont's lead to 7-2. Brad Underhill gave Sunapee hope when he led off the bottom of the second with this double up the middle, but Claremont starting pitcher Trey Theriault got out of the inning with no damage done to preserve the 5-run lead. Theriault helped his cause an inning later when he belted this double to center field, sparking another 5-run inning that had the team celebrating a 12-2 lead. Claremont again benefited from some rare Sunapee miscues before a timely RBI double off the bat of Noah Spalding. Sunapee rallied back with 7 more runs over the game's next 3 innings, but Claremont had plenty of insurance to cap off its regular season schedule with the win.
And sticking with baseball, 5 New Hampshire Fisher Cat players helped the Eastern Division to a 5-4 victory in last night's AA All-Star game. The Cats will pick their regular season schedule back up tonight when they host the Portland Sea Dogs at 7 p.m. That does it for YCN Sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Hey, thanks, Mike. And a reminder that you can check out our new sports playlist on YouTube for all of our previous sports segments back to back. Well, now it's time to revisit Colonel Clint Granger and John O'Connor for Capital Connections in the final part of their conversation. Don't go anywhere, that's coming up after these messages.
The YCN News continues in a moment.